Hey, we're going to talk about mounting locations of the sensor. With most of the sensors available on the market now, a lot of them do require like what we call like a front mount. So basically, if we're simulating the camera view as a driveway per se coming toward the podium, most of the sensors are required. They basically have to be mounted in clear view to anyone approaching the sensor, which that's okay, but we really prefer to have the sensor looking remote, somewhat hidden. So now, obviously on the back side you can still see it, but if somebody drives in right now, you can obviously, the sensor is not visible to anybody approaching your property. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and turn on the receiver now. And then as I walk through the beam, you'll hear the sensor trigger. I'm going to do it one more time. And shut this thing off. But what we can do now is the beam will look out about 60 feet maximum, or again we can do the short range 20 foot. But what I'm going to do now is instead of positioning the sensor straight across, which we normally do not recommend, I'm going to put a slight tip in it. And what I'm actually going to do is tip it fairly steep. So you could literally like use this to control if you had a very, say, a 3 foot wide area for like drive-throughs and coffee shops, anything like that. We could actually set it up now. As you'll see, I'll walk through it, and again, it should trigger. But if I take a few steps over and I walk over here, you'll notice it doesn't go off as it would if it was tipped straight across. It may not, even if I stay tight. Yeah, it didn't go off. So this is, if you had a really specific area, you can again tailor that sensor to view whatever you need. Another option is if the sensor would be mounted in a configuration like this, again I can also swivel the eye, and if I wanted to look at a certain angle instead of straight this way, again that can all be adjusted with the rotating eye. Case in point with this sensor too, don't always think of this as just for the driveway. We can use it for home perimeter. Again, this is a perfect example, mounting it on some type of fence to cover a perimeter area, which is a very growing segue of the the sensor market. Again, this is outdoor rated. However, there's no problem if you want to use it inside too. An option is we can mount the sensor over a door, and if for customers, retail, whatever, warehouses, you can actually have the sensor trigger over a door. You could go across, you can mount it on the wall, and span up to 60 feet, like if you had open garage doors, that type of thing. Again, you want to know if people were walking in or out of doors. So again, there's a lot of options with the sensor other than just using it for a driveway, which it seems like that's been tagged in the industry as just driveway sensors. But again, the perimeter is very, very popular.